Hey YouTube! So today we want to make a video about language and how it's used to hurt other people. The last couple days there's been a bunch of comments and news items in the LGBT blogs and on mainstream news about gay people attacking each other. But before we start that, I really want to send a huge congratulations to Oregon and to Pennsylvania, who have both recently have gotten marriage equality, become number 18 and number 19. We are now at 19 states. Which is pretty amazing, and something like 44% of all Americans now live in a state that has equality, which is pretty awesome. So, now on to our conversation for today. As you guys know, we recently got into a whole big Twitter war, whatever you want to call it, with Boy George. And it really has brought up a lot of conversation between me and Brian about what it means to be gay and how we treat each other.
Well, more specifically, the conversation we're having is why some language that if a straight person were to say it, they would be vilified, blacklisted, their home burned down, their field salted. There are things that they cannot say that if a gay person says, they get away with.
Especially when it's aimed at each other. And it started off this week with a news story about an actor who I really like, and I think he was in Torch Song Trilogy, right?
Right.
And he's actually a director these days of lots of really cool Broadway plays, and he's a very creative person. And I'll let you say his name because I screw it up every time.
Harvey Fierstein.
Fierstein. I always want to say Weinstein, but it's Fierstein.
Yeah.
And he made the statement to Mr. Johnny Weir.
So Johnny Weir's divorce has been all over the news, and in commenting on that, Harvey Fierstein said, "Anything but Johnny Weir. Leave me alone with that faggot." And so he used the F word, and for a lot of us, that's a really big hot button.
And we are not big fans of Johnny. I mean, we definitely, when it comes to, gay celebrities and people who are out there in the public sphere, he is not one of my favorites, and he, in someone, I think I consider him an embarrassment. That being said, the word faggot is an awful word to use. We do not personally use that word in our home. We don't allow any of our friends to use it. I actually had a friend almost thrown out of my house because he was using that word. It's a very disgusting and inappropriate word to use, and to hear somebody who is actually a gay role model using it to describe another out gay person really made me disappointed in him.
But, did you know about it? Did you hear about it?
No.
Did anybody hear about it?
The gay news pretty much ignored it.
Alec Baldwin did something fairly similar a few months back, and he lost a TV show from it.
I mean, the fact that he said that, it seems like nobody in the gay world really cared that he said it. It's like, okay, as long as it's coming out of somebody gay, which I thought was really disappointing.
I don't know. I wonder if gay people don't care necessarily to hold another gay person to task when they use a word like that, and straight people are like, I don't know if I want to step into that. You know what I mean? It's almost like if a black person uses the N-word, a lot of white people are going to go, well, I'm not even stepping into that.
Let them deal with it within their own community.
Yeah,
Well, we are doing a really bad job of dealing with it in our own community. Now, that brings us on to Boy George. As you guys know, last week I made a stupid comment to a friend of mine's video that he posted, and he basically
made a stupid comment.
Well, I mean, it was.
You never do that.
It was sarcasm, and not in a million years did I ever think that Boy George would come across this comment, let alone respond to it as viciously as he did. I mean, he basically lashed out at us in like 10 tweets over the weekend, and he kept going on and on and on and on. And what was worse than Boy George's tweets, and I didn't respond to any of them. I was really good. I stayed above board, and I just let it go. His fans and our fans got into a little bit of a back and forth, and the amount of hate and the vicious words they used towards each other was really kind of saddening. I mean, it's bad enough when you have a gay celebrity attacking, my family, which we don't really consider ourselves celebrities. We just are trying to do our little part in making things better for the gay community.
Focusing the conversation a little bit. Boy George, in one of his tweets, said, obviously playing happy straight families isn't enough for her. She has to get in my grill. With the intimation being that because we put ourselves out there as a married couple with kids that we're pretending to be something instead of just being what we are, which is kind of funny for someone covered in that much makeup. And
but see, it's even the part that most frustrated me about his response to us was they were very anti-female. I mean, he basically called me a cunt, which I think is a really disgusting word.
That word is always disgusting.
But referring to me as a her, I mean, from a person, but it's a way, when he uses it in that context, it's a way of putting people down. It's like it's a way of men referring to other men in a female context as a put down. And to me, that's really sad, coming from a person who has used feminine qualities to promote his music and his style.
But see, I don't see that in the cunt. Yes, definitely. I mean, sorry for the language.
Everything he said to me was female bashing related. And
I think when it comes to the use of the word her, though, I think he probably does that for himself and every other gay person he knows.
To me, I see people who are, that use that as a way to insult somebody, a lot of times by gay men to other gay men, and it is an insult. They use the feminine qualities that so many gay men find strength in to put other gay men down, and it is an insult, and it is a part of the gay community. It's a vicious way to attack somebody. And in a male-based society that we live in, when you refer to somebody as a her, the context behind his words is a put-down.
I have a question for you, though. You watch RuPaul's Drag Race a lot.
I love it.
And they all refer to themselves as her.
Yes.
I mean, the fact that they do drag notwithstanding, I mean, do you always see it as a put-down in that scenario?
And I think that's when we get onto the RuPaul stuff about the whole word tranny, I think that's a different conversation. When Boy George used that word to refer to me in that context, it was a put-down.
But is that something that maybe you're sensitive to?
No, I'm not sensitive at all. I don't care what he calls me. I don't have any, I didn't care at all what Boy George had to say about me, because I know who I am and I'm very comfortable in my skin and who I am as a person. So his words towards me were, if anything, funny to me. I mean, I didn't take them as offensive at all. I just think it's funny, somebody who comes off in a androgynous way? What's the word? Androgynous way would use a female insults like cunt and her as ways to put down somebody who they disagree with. And I just think it's sad that somebody who has made such a career off of being androgynous, even in the newest video, wearing makeup and high heels, would go to that, use that language to insult. But, even without the whole Boy George thing, his followers have been bashing us for the last week constantly, referring to us as a fake family, as pretending to be straight. And that, since we've started this YouTube channel, there are many gay people out there that feel gay people should not want marriage, they shouldn't want families. And, the fact that you can't respect another person's decision, no matter how you choose to live, one thing that me and Brian do not do is we do not judge other people's choices in life. And no matter how you choose to live your life, no matter whether you ever choose to get married, no matter whatever your lifestyle is, it's unfair for anybody in the gay community to judge others in the gay community. I just think it's really unfair.
Okay, well, there's that, but then you're also asking the gay community to hold other members of that community to task for using words like faggot. Or cunt.
Because they're coming from a place of hate.
I really hope there are no kids out there watching this episode.
But no, those words, there's a difference between the way you live your life and using words to hate and hurt each other. There's a huge difference in that. And people, when they say we're pretending to be a straight family, is using those words to hurt us based off societal norms. As a gay person, you should know better. Period. It's bad enough that we have to get this from the straight community and from Christians. We get almost as much hate from the gay community and from supposedly, what do you call people on the fringe of society? People on the outskirts that don't want anything to do with... Yeah, they're the fringe elements that want nothing to do with what they would consider normal society. The amount of hate that comes from them is just as bad as it comes from the Christian community.
Okay, but the topic that we were talking about is
using words to hurt.
Words that, if that had come from a straight person, if a straight person had said, "Oh, look, they're just pretending to be a family," people would be all over that. Yeah. But because it's coming from another gay person and somebody who's pretty well liked and regarded within his sphere of influence, you hear crickets about it, which is sort of the same thing with Harvey Fierstein versus Alec Baldwin, who, here you have a straight guy saying something bad about a gay person, loses a TV show. Harvey Fierstein, crickets.
Do you think if a straight celebrity had said those same things about our family that it would have made news?
I don't know if it would have made news.
I think so. If a straight celebrity had tweeted the same things that Boy George had tweeted about us this last week, I'm sure that it would have been all over the straight news. The fact that Boy George did it, nobody really cares. And that's an indication of the gay community and how we treat each other. So this is going to be a long-winded video. Let's get on to the next topic, because this is one that me and Brian really disagreed about. Recently, RuPaul's been all over the news because of his tranny comments on his show. And he uses the word tranny in a positive, self-confirming way, I guess, is the way that he perceives it.
We went so round and round on this YouTube.
I personally do not have a problem with the word tranny. I think it's all the way that it's context, the way that it's used. But then again, I'm not transsexual, so I don't necessarily have a, like I said, there's no negative connotation towards me in that word. So I know recently, San Francisco, there's a club in San Francisco for the last forever that used to be called the Tranny Shack, and they've been recently made to change their name because it's not politically correct anymore to say the word tranny. Now, before we go on, I'd like you to hear RuPaul's words.
In terms of words, tranny, bother you?
What, does word tranny bother me? No.
Okay.
I love the word tranny.
Like, there's the transsexual, transgender community.
No. It's not the transsexual community who's saying that. These are fringe people who are looking for storylines to strengthen their identity as victims. That is what we're dealing with. It's not the trans community, because most people who are trans have been through hell and high water, and they've looked behind the curtain at Oz and went, oh, this is all a fucking joke.
Right.
But some people haven't, and they've used their victimhood to create a situation where, no, you look at me. I want you to see me the way you're supposed to see me. You know, if your idea of happiness has to do with someone else changing what they say, what they do, you are in for a fucking hard-ass road.
So, on the one hand, I agree with RuPaul. Oprah Winfrey. It was Whoopi Goldberg that made a similar comment that it's not what you call me, but what I answer to. You know, and in all the pushback we've ever gotten on YouTube, I've tried to live by that. You know, so Boy George's comments of pretending, it just looks like a desperate grasp at something that's going to get us inside. But at the same time, I understand that the reason why we don't use some words is because they do have a detrimental effect on some people. And I think the transgender community is trying to separate themselves from this notion that they're connected with drag and all that other stuff. So when you use tranny for somebody who's a drag queen or something, you're linking these two things that really are not linked. And, you know, I understand it's kind of an identity thing, and I understand that maybe RuPaul is right in that they're being way too oversensitive in the use of a word. But to some degree, I understand that there needs to be a differentiation made, and it is a matter of helping people be visible and be known for who and what they really are instead of what they are not.
So to wrap this up, because this is a pretty long video, words, do they hurt? Is it cool when gay people call other people, gay people, names or label them? What do you guys call yourselves? What do you feel is appropriate or inappropriate? Do you feel it's okay for a gay person to call a gay person faggot? For a gay man to call another gay man a cunt? I mean, do you think it's okay to use the word tranny? I mean, is that something that we consider a good word, like queer? Sometimes queer is used as an insult, and sometimes queer is used as something, as a compliment, you know, as part of our community.
My question is, can you see, even if you don't take offense at that word, how it might really hurt somebody else?
Yeah. Until next time, YouTube.
Bye.